fellas, all frickin' righty. We're obviously a tad bit late here, okay? This game has damn near been out for a whole month already, but this was one of my most anticipated games of 2024, so I definitely can't just pass it up. I've still got to do my part and give a comprehensive review and opinion on things, so that's what we're here to do today. And with all that out of the way, let's just jump straight into things, shall we? Okay, actually, wait, let's just wait a second. I know I just said, oh, let's jump straight into things, shall we? And played the music, but I also feel like it's important to preface this by saying your boy is not the biggest fan of sports games at all right? I'm not one to typically grind out Madden or literally anything. I just really like college football, and I used to play the older NCAA games, but that was a whole 10 years ago. Long story short, I am not the best at all when it comes to this game, but that doesn't mean we still can't go over the game and talk about how I'm feeling about things. So yeah, let's do that. Cue the music again. EA Sports College Football 25 is a brand new college football game that was released on Xbox and PlayStation for $70. Now, college football games aren't anything new, but what really made this special is it's the first college football game to release in 10 whole years. I mean, that's a decade right there. I think before we dive too deep into things too, it's important to discuss what went wrong to begin with. These games used to thrive in the early 2000s under a different title, NCAA. But after the 2014 release, EA started to receive heavy criticism and even some lawsuits over using college players' likeness in the game without them receiving any sort of financial compensation. I could make a whole video just going over that alone, but I won't because I'm sure there's already 100 or so other people who have talked about it. But long story short, they got in trouble for not paying these players, but now in the new game, it's completely up to the players if they even want to be included or not. And if they did decide to be in the game, they all received a flat rate payment for EA to use their name as an actual character. Moving on though, the premise for this game is simple. Football. End of story. The main draw and attraction for these games is playing the game of football as your favorite team, and EA College Football actually gives you multiple ways of accomplishing this, whether it's just a quick exhibition, competing for a national championship, or even stepping into the shoes of a real college athlete and pursuing a career in the sport you love at the school of your dreams. I wouldn't say there's any sort of story mode elements to this game, but the creative player mode is definitely the closest you'll get to any sort of campaign style experience. The gameplay is the exact same across all the modes except for the creative player mode. The typical gameplay experience has the player in control of every aspect of the team, whether that's calling plays or running them on both sides of the ball. You can pretty much break down the gameplay for this into two separate categories: controller skill and game knowledge. Controller skill encompasses moving your player around the field well and some quick time muscle memory when it comes to actually throwing the ball as quarterback. Game knowledge just encompasses knowledge of football itself. A huge part of this game is just being in the know of any given play and being able to read the field to tell what the opponent is trying to do. If you have any sort of past experience actually playing football, then it really should help out a fair bit in this. You're pretty much able to be successful in this game with only one of these categories mastered, but if you're able to do both effectively, then you'll really excel. Moving on to the actual game modes themselves, Dynasty mode is really fun. This is basically the normal base game where you control all the players on both sides of the ball, but you also get to build your program as a coach. If you don't already know, your boy's a big Georgia fan, and they've already got a pretty stacked team in this game, but I saw the 91 overall and thought, damn, it would be really cool to get that up to a 99 and just rail everybody for the next 10 years. So that's what I set out to do. When I first started playing, I wasn't the biggest fan of recruiting, but I'm not gonna lie, it quickly became my favorite part of the whole Dynasty experience. I actually felt some sense of pressure to find good talent and pursue them to join our team. It was a good time. Before moving on though, I will say it's hard to take Dynasty seriously because I can just auto sim until my team has a dub. Even if I lost a game, I could just back out and re-sim until it's a W. And even if you have 100% an all-around better team, there's still an element of luck that plays into things, where if you simulated the same matchup 5 times in a row, then the game will find a way to throw a dub out for each team somehow. There will be win scenarios on either side. It just doesn't feel as legit for some reason, in my opinion. Like, I mean, yeah, I guess that's possible in real life. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know how they like base that. I want to know what their like system of like judging or randomizing that is. I guess it just doesn't really make much sense to me. Switching over to the creative player mode, like I said, this is probably the closest you'll ever get to a campaign in this game. This mode has you in the shoes of an actual player, which means you have to manage their life on and off the field. The gaming experience in this mode is also a lot different from the normal game because you're playing as one singular player and not the whole team. This means the POV you get from the camera is completely different itself, and you're only going to be playing offense or defense. And you might not even be on the field for every play. Hell, you might not even be a starter at your favorite school right off the rip. You might be a second or third string in just simming games. I will say though, this specifically is kind of a cool mechanic because you're able to go head to head up against the higher string players and challenge for their spot. But yeah, overall it's just a way different experience, and it actually encompasses the feeling of being on one of these teams more than just playing a quick game that means really nothing. If you haven't seen my videos on Sir Chuck Lunarson II, I've actually been working on a game-bred champion quarterback myself, and it's been a pretty fun time, I'm not gonna lie. I've definitely enjoyed this mode. Next we have the Ultimate Team mode, which is a staple across all EA titles. This is essentially their big money grab for the game and where you'll pretty much spend any in-game currency. The draw to this mode is being able to create a team with any players from any team, whether that's current or legacy players from previous years. I will say the idea itself is insanely cool, but to acquire any of these players, you have to pull them from random packs, so nothing's ever a guarantee. And you're going to end up draining a ton of money into this game for a team that's only going to last you like maybe a year if they decide to come out with the College Football 26. There is ways to earn players without spending money, but come on, we all know this shtick at this point. If you want to try grinding for your stuff, it's going to take you incredibly long because they want to incentivize you purchasing stuff. Like your team is just going to be at a severe disadvantage because you're not able to earn better players as fast as everybody else, or not necessarily everybody else, but just somebody who's actually spending money. Overall, like I said, really cool idea, but I just don't think it's worth it to drain any time or money into. Lastly, we have Road to the College Football Playoff, which is the game's ranked online multiplayer mode. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, I have not touched this at all. And before anybody tries to get all snappy in the comments, screw you guys, alright? I'm already out here getting smacked up by the computer in this game, and you want me to just go into an online match where a 12-year-old's calling out what formation I'm in before I even know what formation I'm in?
Please don't tell me, bro. You're very predictable, bro. You're very predictable, good buddy. I'm telling you, bro. You're very predictable. But EJ, I'm gonna tell you right now, you think I watch your stream, don't you? But I'm not.
Yeah, right. Alright, we'll just hold off on that.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
Moving on here to the visuals. While you're playing this game, the only thing you're ever going to be looking at the entire time are the stadium and the players. That's it. With that being said though, they did a pretty bang up job in this department, I cannot lie. There are a lot of different colleges represented in this game, and EA spent a great deal of time recreating each specific and unique stadium atmosphere for each school. They even have special animations for the crowd, touchdowns, mascots, walkouts, you name it. I will say though, there's only like 1 or 2 animations for each thing, but I mean, it's your favorite team. You're seeing it, you're having a good time. It doesn't ever really get boring, or at least it hasn't yet for me. As far as the players go, I think EA did a great job with all the uniforms. They have every home, away, or alternative color uniforms you could ever dream of for your school, and it's great. You could even go as far as switching up helmets, pants, and jerseys to make something even more unique. Next, as far as audio goes, this is also something I think EA really nailed. The crowd, the game, the bands, the announcers, everything all comes together and creates a perfect game day atmosphere. I mean, your boy was fully immersed in the experience. It was great. Every college, of course, has their own unique school songs, and those are fully present in this game. The announcers are also a very nice addition because they got actual college football announcers from real life, which just adds to the realism exponentially. These announcers also have an insane number of voice lines for any sort of situation you might run into while playing the game. To this day, I'm still hearing them come up with new stuff I haven't even heard before. Another huge audio addition that heavily influences the actual game itself is the stadium pulse. All schools have a varying degree of stadium pulse, which is essentially supposed to mimic a home field advantage. The crowd for the home team will just go absolutely crazy, and it messes with the other team, whether that's screen shake, wrong play diagrams, or players not responding to audibles. The amount of effect this can have on you is all dependent on how good of a team you're playing with. Meaning if you play an away game at Alabama, you're going to have an easier time with the, big old Georgia Bulldogs compared to if you play there with like Army or something. But it's not just dependent on your teams overall. It also depends on how young or older players are, because more veteran players have better experience against that. Overall, I think this is a really cool addition. I mean, I think it's a pretty fun idea to make things a bit more realistic in a sense. But I will say, if this game has any sort of competitive mode or tourneys, I don't think this has any sort of place in there. It's definitely a bit of an unfair advantage to have when you're playing against another real person. Also, before wrapping this up, I just want to say I've got absolutely no idea how Georgia doesn't have the #1 hardest stadium to play at. Literally back-to-back national champions, and we haven't lost a home game since 2019. I mean, okay, yeah, whatever. Wait, you've been playing with these squiggly lines and shit all along?
Yeah.
No, you haven't.
Only when the crowd's rocking, which is at the beginning of every game and when you're doing well.
Also, before moving on, I just gotta mention that the lobby band music is insane when you first start the game up. I mean, I thought I was going to war. I didn't know what was going on. You know what I'm talking about. Everybody has heard it. That lobby music is crazy. Next, as far as bugs and issues go, I didn't really experience any sort of game-breaking bugs during my playthrough, but an issue I had while playing was the sense of realism to the game that was being artificially created. I don't even know if that makes complete sense, but if you've played this game or have seen any clips from it, then you have probably witnessed firsthand the absolute tomfoolery that goes on in these matches. I mean, stuff like this just absolutely should not be happening. I don't know if this kind of stuff happens in Madden too, because like I said at the beginning, I don't really play it, but this is just crazy talk. It feels like they're trying to replicate those crazy miracle plays that, I mean, definitely do happen sometimes in college football and sports in general, but I'm gonna just need them to just, whatever setting that is, turn it down just a little bit, because it feels like pretty much every game there is just jaw hit the floor craziness happening. In conclusion, Your Honor, I know I'm not a football game fan, so I probably can't give the most in-depth analysis on how this gameplay stacks up against a Madden or something else, but as a fan of college football, I thought this game was a great time all around. Everything comes together to create a truly immersive experience. Constantly throughout my time playing, I thought I was just sitting there watching an actual game. I mean, it completely transported me into the world of college football, and definitely helped scratch the itch waiting for the real season to start back up. If I had to wrap this all up into a rating today, 1 to 10, I think I'm gonna have to give it a 9. It's certainly not a perfect game, but I thoroughly enjoyed playing it, and I will continue to play it well into the future. College Football 25 can get competitive, but it feels really relaxed compared to playing like a Souls-like or FPS. I mean, this is a great game to just fall back on whenever you're trying to just have a good time and play some games. And also, as one of my top 5 2024 most anticipated games, I don't think it disappointed in the slightest. I thought this was great. It perfectly lived up to the expectations I set for it. And if they want to come out with another one next year, I'll probably buy that one. The year after that, I'll probably buy that one. Just keep her coming, EA. I'm here for the college football. All right, enough of that. That's probably going to do it here for the review, folks. Again, sorry I'm getting this out so late, but if you stuck around this long to watch all of this, thank you. I mean, just know I truly appreciate it. If you've also played EA College Football 25 yourself, comment down below and let me know what you think of the game. I'd love to hear it. Also, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. Your boy also would, really appreciate that. All right, fellas, I'm done. Go get some food or go to bed or do whatever you need to do at whatever time of day it is for you right now. Go handle that and be great. This has been Lunar, and welcome to Bound.